What's up, y'all? It's your boy KP and my pal Heather Hertz. We just got out of the press screening for Eternity. Initial thoughts, Heather?
It was a lovely ending. Everyone deserves a very happy ending. I mean, that's kind of it lives up to the hype. I think it lives up to the hype.
Yeah?
I think it's my answer. I think
those are your thoughts coming out of it?
Those are my thoughts. It lives up to the hype. I'm proud of it. I'm glad I came. I'm glad to share this with y'all. Yeah, I think it lives up to the hype.
Well, how could there be hype when it just came? Well, it's not even out for people yet. So she's reading everything else from the other critics, I guess.
No.
Like Heather, I'm like, girl, we're doing it now.
This is the A24 stan. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It lives up to A24 hype. It lives up to A24 casting hype. That's what I mean.
Okay, I was like, what are you talking about?
No.
So my thoughts real quick, in the top 5 of the year, one of the year's best. I know I've been saying it a lot, but damn it, I was in all my feels. She knows I was crying. I cry. I'm an empath, y'all. But we're going to have a lot of thoughts. We're going to have a full review on Eternity. Check it out when it drops November 26th for the wide release. And shout out to this amazing talent. Miles Teller, Elizabeth Olsen, Callum Turner. They killed it. The whole cast, Divine Joy Brown. Loved it all. Full review coming soon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRW where nerds rule the world. I'm Heather Hurt. That's Kuya P. And we're about to get existential. Same words, different ability to talk. Let's just get right into it. Here's the trailer for Eternity.
Guess you weren't expecting it.
What the hell is going on?
We have now reached the junction.
Well, I guess the surgery didn't go so well.
You've passed away, Larry.
Who are you?
I'm Anna. I'm your afterlife coordinator.
That's not a job.
And this is the junction, where you choose one place to spend eternity.
You want a little sniffle?
And who to spend it with.
Joan!
I was in bed and then I...
You look amazing. I have shocking news. You're dead. Yeah, how'd you know?
It took him forever to figure that out.
Excuse me.
I've been waiting for this golden goose for 67 goddamn years. It's a lot to absorb, so I highly recommend just taking a deep breath in and out. Just breathe.
I never dreamt you this clearly.
You're exactly how I dreamt you. Oh, no.
Who's this guy? First husband. Died in the war.
Joan, you all right? Honey. I know this is a lot, but don't worry, I've been doing the research.
Larry!
What do you mean, Larry? We were together a week ago.
Well, a lot has happened in a week. You died, I died, I just been reunited with both of my dead husbands, and I have to pick where to spend eternity. You waited 67 years.
When eternity's on the line, seems like nothing.
It's a good opener.
You're a lurker, pal. You're waiting beyond to spoil a half a century of marriage.
It's not a competition.
Yes, it is!
Sweetheart, it's 100% for sure a competition.
It is in fact a competition.
That's literally what we're here for.
I wanted you to have a life, but I wanted us to have a chance to have one too.
That is so romantic.
I can be romantic. I don't care where we end up. Just as long as we're together.
You're going to have to remind her of why she fell in love with you.
Knowing you're happy makes me happy.
Eternity is a long time to have regrets.
So, have you chosen your eternity?
Eternity, as of this recording, will be out in a couple days. Eternity arrives in theaters on November 26th. We will try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible because we don't want A24 mad at us. And as Kuya P is one of their biggest stans, I don't know if he would legally allow me to do that. With that being said, Eternity is written and directed by David Freyne and written by Patrick Cunnane. Cunnane, I think is how you actually say it. I'm sorry. The cast includes Miles Teller as Larry, Elizabeth Olsen as Joan, Callum Turner as Luke, Divine Joy Randolph, Kuya P's, and my clear favorite, I think, in this film, and like in every film, to be fair, who plays Anna, and John Early, who plays Ryan. This is a huge cast and a very interesting one at that. But we'll keep it to the main five. That's kind of they're the big group here in this film. Actually, no, Olga Merediz, who plays Karen. We're not going to go into who she is or how she takes a part in this because it's a huge spoiler. But just huge shout out to her because she is phenomenal in this film. And that's kind of it. That's the movie. I guess I need to talk about the plot. The plot is very simple. Joan dies a week after her husband, Larry. And when she comes to this junction right before eternity, which we find out is kind of heavenish, she is reunited with the husband that she lost during the war. We won't talk about which war, Luke. And hijinks ensue. Hijinks happen, and she must make the decision as to where she can spend her one and only eternity. We have Anna, who is Larry's afterlife coordinator, and then we have Ryan, who is Luke and Joan's afterlife coordinator. With that, that's basically everything. Kuya, what were your initial thoughts?
From the trailer before we headed into the film, I thought it was an amazing cast, and then who knew the ensemble was just even greater. As you know, I love me some Divine Joy. Messed up when I came out with my initial thoughts. I gave her the last name of Brown. I married her off for some reason. Sorry about that, Divine. It's Divine Joy Randolph, y'all. Loved her since the film with, what was that film she was in with Paul Giamatti? Great in that film. When she was remember that film?
That was last year too. It was an Oscar nominee.
Yeah, and it was great. And it's escaping me. But
the 1970s film. I need to look it up. I need to look it up now.
But she's amazing. She's amazing. So yeah, she steals the show in her times on screen. But yeah, just the cast. The holdovers. Thank you, Heather.
There we go.
We were going to be held up with our thoughts if we didn't get that out there.
You need to get that out because that was a great movie too. You'll need to see it. She is phenomenal. She is phenomenal.
Recommend that. So yeah, didn't know she was going to have such an amazing part in the full film. But Callum Turner, who's kind of been to the side in certain projects, this being his probably biggest performance yet. But Miles Teller, we all know him. Elizabeth Olsen, we know her. They kill it, and I was excited for them being in it. The way it was shot, from the trailer, and then just kind of. Really, the whole film is in the trailer as well. You get a little bit more from the film, but the concept behind the film just felt so very interesting, and I was excited to see it when I finally checked it out.
Mm-hmm. And same with me. I think our trailer reaction was pretty short and sweet. We were both kind of like, yeah, we want to watch this. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My husband, for those of you who don't know, he does come with me to almost every single screening. I think he's only hasn't been with me for like 2, maybe 3. But most of the time he's kind of a whiner until we get there. And then he's like, oh, I enjoyed this movie. It's fine. Yeah, I'm happy. But I mean that in a loving way. But after the trailer, this was actually one of the movies that my husband was most excited to come and join me at a press screening for. The cast was phenomenal. The concept was great, and it also could go in many different ways. And so it was really kind of an exciting moment to try and to go and experience. So with that, those are both it's nice, short and sweet. We were both excited, but did it live up to the hype? And I want to talk about this from multiple angles because we've gotten, I think Kuya and I have gotten a lot of other opinions outside of our own as we talk to people after the press screening, which is one of the most exciting things, is talking and hearing other people walking out of the theaters. So Kuya P, without going into other people's opinions, what was your review of this film?
Absolutely loved it. It's cracking my top 5, if not top 3 films for the year. I still got to work on it because it's been crazy adding some more films to it. In these latter months, there's been some impressive films here and there, but I thought it was outstanding. Again, cast, as from the trailer, the cast was phenomenal. Then it became an even wider cast to see the rest of the ensemble that just brought it. And then the choices within the story. We got the gist of the story from the trailer, but the other additional choices they chose to make in relative to give the entire story and make you think and ponder choices, I thought were outstanding. And in certain ways, went against the norm that you'd normally think the film would go. And then they added to it. When you might have thought the film might be over in a certain area, no, we're still going to do this and twist things around again. So I thought that was bold and brave and entertaining as a viewer. And again, just the difficulties of life and choices. It reflected life within the material itself, of having to make certain choices. And so I thought it was outstanding. It's gonna hit you in every way because it's tackling such an emotional issue of death and life and relationships that is why I think other people that will intake this film will feel a certain way that may not be as pleasant or as well received, because I think, to be honest, it's what they've lived in their own life and how they've had to come to terms with certain things. And it's going to be difficult because they still haven't met that point yet for themselves to deal with a situation. So I think that's what's going to create some different feeling on it. You have to come to terms, I think, with a lot of things in order to really ingest this film. And so, for me, I was prepared for this film, I guess, for speaking for myself, on all kind of possibilities, what I hope for, but also what I want for the betterment of the person, which reflects one of the characters in this film, in every way, and then hopefully things will work itself out. But if they don't, you have to, with all things, have to come to terms for yourself and for what you want out of life and afterlife, if you will. I think I'm getting real heavy, Heather, right now, but I think that's just what it is for me as a whole human being, whether on this plane or another plane. I was prepared, and I could see the complete beauty of the material that was presented for me.
Yes, I agree. And we'll talk about the writing and how that can impact other people here shortly. And I actually want to use IMDb reviews as an example of the quality of this film. And I think in a concept that KAYFABEYBABY and I have talked about, but some others might not have considered. And I'm not saying that we're brilliant or anything like that. I'm saying that one of the really great things about talking to people is that you get to learn about different perspectives. And when someone's writing a review, it is important, writing or critiquing or saying in public, it's important to understand that this film is going to hit different people a different way. And I want to talk about the writing, but I'll make that at the end of my review. When it comes to the acting, this was phenomenal. Elizabeth Olsen playing an old woman in a young woman's body, I think this is probably one of her best roles she's ever done. Miles Teller, you wouldn't know that he is a, I guess he would be probably in his mid 80s. His character, I don't think that you recognize that in the film. But I still love the jealousy that it consumes him, the emasculinity that he has to feel with. You can see it, you can feel it. And then of course you have Callum Turner, who has never grown up. He is literally in a young man's body for the rest of his life. And you can see that agelessness in him, in his acting. And then of course these two are phenomenal. I'm going to say this now. John Early is gay. They are phenomenal. It doesn't, you'll see, but I love them. What I also love is this film plays a lot of special effects. They play a lot of physical effects instead of special effects. Yes, the junction itself, the wider junction is special effects, but they even make a point to have physical effects, visual effects, where they're could have been very clear fake scenery, fake movements, fake landscapes. They use real scenes, or they go even further. I won't bring it up because it is really funny when you see it for the first time. But I do love the visualization and the physicalization of this film. It's really, really great. It kind of also brings the film down to earth. I know that sounds kind of weird when we're talking about heaven, but with that being said, it feels very relatable. It feels very connected. It feels very, I don't want to say mundane, because the story, to make a point, this is what happens at the end is very cliche. The clichéness of this film, but the incredible way that they do it is what makes this film special. You know exactly who she's going to end with. You know exactly how it's going to happen, but how they get there, the way the acting, how the characters are being acted, you feel like this is a good, solid film with really good pacing. And what's even more important, it's as Kuya P said, this is a silly film, but it's a really heavy topic. And what could have been really detrimental to this movie is they could have made it too silly or too dark, like too heavy. But they really walked that line beautifully. And so much of that is due to the writing. This is probably, Kuya P's seen a lot more movies than I have this year, but I can easily say this is probably one of the best written films that I have seen. And this is where I'm going to bring in other people's reviews. I heard myself more than one person who said that this movie was stressful. And a lot of those people have had someone pass. They've lost parents. When I looked back, Kuya P and I had a conversation with someone, and when we were talking to them, I realized I literally took a step back and thought about my father, who is going through the process of cancer treatment right now, and what would happen, what my thoughts were at that point, and they changed. But this movie, the fact that we had people walking out of the theater saying that this movie was hilarious, to people saying that this was one of the most stressful films that they've ever seen, I think plays a real important lesson to the writing. And where I'm bringing in the IMDb reviews, this film, Kuya P and I are literally saying it's one of our favorite films of the year, but it only has a 7.3 thus far on IMDb, which are mostly critic reviews. And what that means is that people are not taking in the concept of how emotional this film is, because they're not looking at it from the other perspectives. Who else is watching this movie? As we know, not that we are not the same audience as other people. Not every movie is made for us, and not every movie is going to hit the same way. And the fact that this film has such a wide range of emotional impact states everything you need to know about this movie, and how 7.3 is undermining the quality of this film to me. Because that is a very one-way point of view. Because I could totally see Kuya P and tell me your opinion. People could look at this as a funny movie and not understand the full context, and then go out. I wasn't expecting a silly movie. I was expecting a serious movie. But then you don't see the people that couldn't finish watching this, so they left. Or the people that were so emotionally impacted, like Kuya P, who might have been crying a good majority of the time, not saying much, but you don't see it. If you're not willing to take that in, you're not critiquing to the fullest of your ability. Kuya P, what are your opinions on that?
I understand people needing to have that space. But then you can't, to me, give a full critique. Yes, I agree. Do not give a full critique if you miss a chunk of the film.
Oh no, I meant like when you don't understand the impact, the emotional impact of a film. Like
the critic not understanding the emotional impact of the film?
The full scope of the emotional impact.
Then I think you're a terrible critic. I'm not going to make you have to. Critics, are you critiquing for yourself, or are you critiquing for people? Most of us have the obligation to think, to form our opinion, but also think what the direction is because not every film is made for everyone. You know, you and I are adults. I went to go see Gabby's Playhouse or whatever. It's a film meant for kids. I'm gonna give my take as a parent, and with that to utilize as the background, but also it ain't made for me. It's made for that kid. So I'm gonna give that X perspective and make that noted in my perspective that this is how I'm approaching it as. A lot of these critics out here are thinking that everything is just made for you and it's meant, no, like you have to take yourself outside of it. And to your point, I think that you need to consider the whole. And most people aren't doing that. We're living in a world where hot takes and all of that can boost followers, can boost likes, views, which then makes them money. And that's all that they care about. That's their bottom line. I could give zero fucks if you watch this or not, or if you respect my opinion or not, but I'm going to take you will see through the work that I'm considering all things. And that to me is, as I was raised and most people should to be thoughtful of other people. But, here I'm getting negative now because people have changed in this world now. And I think there is still a core of human, I'm getting my words all misconstrued right now, but I think there's a core there that people still value that I hope will still set the tone.
Absolutely. And once again, I think that when you look at this film, you need to consider everything that this story is saying, every story that this, or every person and how it could touch every single person differently. And with that being said, KAYFABEBABY, any final thoughts? Once again, we will not be doing a post-credit, as to say, we will not be doing a post-credit spoiler. It is still way too early for us to be spoiling anything. So KAYFABEBABY, any final thoughts?
We actually can, because this went the festival circuit, but
that's true.
I think you're trying to protect yourself right now, and also me, because you brought up something earlier that I'm like, I think we need to talk about that. But you know what? You really don't feel we should?
I mean, if you want to, we can. If you want to, we can. Sure.
Maybe we'll save it for another time. I don't know. I think this film is one of the year's best. It might be difficult if at first, especially again, as I stated and as Heather stated, where you are with yourself in life and how it could relate to what you're experiencing with relatives and all of that. Yeah, so it might make you want to step away, but I think you need to return back if you do step away. So if you're afraid of getting to that point and it might overcome you, you might not want to see this in theaters. And I hate to say that because I think this is one of the, again, best films of the year. And again, we're paying hard-earned money to go see this film in the theater. And if it's going to affect you to that degree, I'd rather you not affect other person's viewing of this film who are going to enjoy this. But also I want you to save your money if you don't think, because I think you need to enjoy this film to its fullest. So I would take that all under account. But I definitely think you should return to this film. Again, it's one of the best films of the year. It's an outstanding film, but you will have a range of emotions while experiencing this film.
Absolutely. As we said before, my final thoughts I always do, of course, is this worth the price of admission? To me, I believe this film is worth the price of admission. Only in regular. We saw it in Dolby. I don't think we saw it oh no, we didn't see it in Dolby. We did see it in a regular theater. It might be in Dolby in some regular theater. You don't need to worry about any of the big IMAXs. Of course, it wasn't filmed that way, but easily worth the ticket. But as KAYFABEBABY said, if you think you will get too emotional because this is talking about the concept of death, then please wait till you get home. Every movie should be viewed in your most comfortable space. And though there are moments of sheer humor, and that is enjoyable in an audience. This is also a very heavy topic, and we respect if that is not something that you want to do in public. Absolutely respect that. The film arrives in theaters on November 26th. We are once again not going to have an extra set. Maybe we'll come back and do a secondary review and talk more about it. But get your tickets now. If you have already seen this film, once again, it has actually technically been roaming around for a while. Tell us your thoughts below. Please don't spoil for anyone else. If you disagree with our thoughts, please tell us below. You're helping our algorithm. You do it. Like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. And we appreciate you, and we'll see y'all soon.